teaching night students at MetroTech's Aviation campus.
And make sure you guys are careful with those heating elements.
It's easy to see instructor Porsha Lippincott knows her way around a jet engine.
Are you guys labeling each part that you take out?
But it's not always been that way. Homeless at 17, Porsha was living out of a refrigerator box.
I had just recently got a job at Sonic, so every day I would sleep in the box and go to Sonic, come home, sleep in the box, and I did it for 3 months. So one day at Sonic in the morning, I get a phone call. It's a lady from Norman North, and she's a counselor, and I kind of just broke down and told her everything that was going on. Well, she told me to stand by, and she would call me right back. About 5 minutes later, I got her and Bridges, which is an independent homeless shelter for kids, who called saying that they wanted to meet me that day. They showed me this cute little apartment in this house that was all to myself, and they told me, this is where we want you to live. Go back to school, you could work, we'll help you get a car or whatever you need to do to go to school. And that day I moved in. I found this 93 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It had like 7 different colors going on, but I was okay with it. I paid $1,000 for it. It ran, and then one day it just didn't start at all. It was $1,907 to repair this oil pan gasket. At that time, I had no idea what any of that meant. I went on YouTube and I looked up what an oil pan gasket was, and it was on a 93 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and they were showing how you took off all these bolts, 27 of them, took down the oil pan, took off the gasket, put a new one on, put the oil pan back up, bolted it down, put some oil in, and you were good to go. And I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing ever. I could do this. 7 hours later, which nowadays it wouldn't take me 7 hours, but it did. 7 hours later, I had my car running, and it actually ran better than it did before. So I graduated high school, got my high school diploma. When I got done, they had already filled out paperwork for me to go to Moore Norman Technology Center to go and be a mechanic over there, and I did. And when I got done, I got my ASEs. So that was my whole getting out of being homeless and onto my own feet with a cool certification. At the time, I was actually working 3 jobs. 4 hours of sleep was okay for me, but when it became me being pregnant, I couldn't do 4 hours of sleep anymore. At that time, I was put on some government assistant programs, and they had referred me to come out to MetroTech Aviation because I already had automotive. When I enrolled, they had told me about MetroTech's foundations. They had told me about some of the welfare foundations, and I was able to get on almost every single one of them. So when I got out here, my tools, my books, my certifications, my class, everything was paid for. All I had to do was come to school and learn, and then go home and be happy. I mean, I still had bills that I had to pay, and I didn't have a nighttime job because I really couldn't do that with my son. While I was struggling, one of my teachers, Mr. Hensley, told me that MetroTech Foundation still had other benefits that I could benefit from. He told me that they could help me pay for gas and rent, and so I called and I told them the stuff that I was going through. I proved to them that I was having a hard time, and they helped me pay for rent, and they actually paid for my gas for a while. So I was able to go through school. I didn't have to get a second job. When I got done here, I had applied to Tinker 8 months before I graduated here. And right when I graduated, they sent me a letter saying, we'd like you to come work for us. Your start date is October 6th. And so October 6th, I started at Tinker. Thank you for helping me. Now I'm helping you back to all those people that have helped fund me in the long run.